Welcome to Yard Grains. My name is Helen, and I wanted to introduce you to the concept of yard grains. I'd like to invite you to come in and enjoy the resources that we have here for you. I grew up in Kingston. I heard a lot of stories from my parents. They told me about growing up in rural Jamaica, Manchester and Clarendon actually, and so different from how I grew up in Kingston. But most of it was about the way they stored food and had food, right? You know, they grew most of their own food, and they had this small room called a butchery, and things were stored, they were dried, they were salted and cured, and it was there when there was plenty. There was a lot of food that was produced, and they would store it up so that when there wasn't a lot of food, then, it was there. Now, that's very different, as you can imagine, from going to the supermarket, stopping, at the shop on the way home, picking up something you don't have. So I couldn't relate, but I was fascinated. Then I found that it was very much like a story in the Bible. You know the story of Joseph in Genesis? Yeah, that's the one. He was sold into slavery, then he ended up in Pharaoh's palace, he interpreted his dream, and then before you know it, he became prime minister. Go figure. But anyway, he was able to store the food, the grain, during the time of plenty, and then he could provide that grain to the people all around the world who also had famine, who came there to receive food, of course, so they could live. So he was able to save not just his family, but so many people in the world. Well, that's yard grain. We want to store up a collection of our own experiences that we've discovered with a concept of mind education. Mind education is talking about this invisible world of the heart, where we've learned how to expand the capacity of our hearts, to become resilient to challenges, to be able to overcome the things that are difficult in our lives. And through that, we have a collection, a wealth of nourishment for the soul. So if it is that you're not sure what your future holds, I'm sure you'll find a story here just like yours. If it is that you're a parent, whether you're a new parent or you've been parenting for quite a while, you're not quite sure how to instill self-discipline in your children. How do you really talk to teenagers these days? It's difficult. Mine are just coming out of teenage, but do I really connect with them? And there are times I think I'm pouring my heart and my love towards them, and then children say, "You don't love me." How does that work? Well, I hope that somebody has recognized that, yes, this is what I want to learn about. Well, we have experienced these things, but we found a way that we can actually establish a deeper connection with our children. We can learn to understand what they're going through, their realities. They grew up in a different time. So how do you connect? Make true connections that there's that trust, so that as you guide them, they're able to take the guidance. There's so many different scenarios and experiences that we have as a collective. And here it's contained in Yard Grains. It's a storage, a storeroom in the time of need, when things are rough and you really want just those nuggets, those grains of wisdom to help you through the challenge that you're going through. Well, I believe that as you sift through our collection, you will find stories and experiences that will enrich your soul, that will strengthen you, that would even give you some hope and some strength to share with somebody else. So I invite you to like and subscribe our videos and spend some time, come back again and again, because there's always something new for you. Welcome to Yard Grains.